evolution of sound.
Hey, what's up guys? My name is Semworld, and first off, let me say thank you guys for supporting the Nina Sung Vocal Pack. Now, as a thank you, I wanted to make a video series for you guys to become experts at vocals. So what we're going to be doing is a bit of sound design in making vocal chops, vocal effects, how to make some cool ad-libs, and also how to process vocals. So next time that you work with a vocalist, you have a little bit more confidence in knowing that you know how to process her vocals and a little bit of the theory. As always guys, I hope you guys have fun with these tutorials. I hope you have fun with the pack, and I hope it helps inspire you to create some new stuff or finish some old tracks you have laying around. So let's get started. The first thing I want to tackle in this series is going to be vocal chops. So this is going to be the vocal chop portion. Now, on my YouTube, I have a free vocal chop tutorial as well that you guys can watch, which is an alternative to this one. Now, this one, I decided to put it in the pack because it's a way that I actually learned from a couple of professionals that mentored me. Now, I don't want to name any names, but they did tell me that they don't want me showing this live on YouTube, but it's fine if I have students that I can show this to, aka people that support my stuff at a whole other level. So we're going to learn a couple of advanced things, and hopefully you guys can stick along, keep up with it and, make some cool vocal chops. So let's get started. The first thing we want to do is pick a vocal, and I've already picked mine, which is the Better Off one. It's my favorite vocal from the pack. I enjoyed making the backings for it and mastering it as well, and we're going to talk a little bit about how to process this from the dry version in the future module in this series. So what we're going to be doing here is just picking our favorite spot. Now, I already know where to go, so to save you guys some time, and it's going to be in the end over here. Usually you want to have the start of a vocal phrase and the end in your little vocal loop, okay? So that's why we're going to pick a section where we have the beginning and the end.
I'm better off, yeah. Without you, I'm better off. Oh.
Now, this is the spot that I really do like, so I'm gonna highlight Control J, which is gonna make it into one file individual. Now I can delete the other two. Now, why am I working with such a little part of the vocal? I mean, we have this whole vocal phrase to work with that Nina wrote. Well, the reason is just because when you go to, your girlfriend and go like, let's go out to eat, you guys spend like at least 30 or minutes to an hour trying to decide what to eat, and this is because you have so many choices. Same thing here. We want to limit our what we can use to make vocal loops, or else we're gonna get stumped. So this is perfect here because we have the beginning,
I'm better off,
and we have an end. So now we have a lot to work with. So now let's start working with this. Now the next thing we can do, and this is very optional, is transpose this up to 12 semitones, which is an octave up. Now I know a lot of people don't know how to use this, so I'm going to show you guys real quick how to do it. So let's come over here to the piano real fast and set the camera down here. Now in music theory, we have these things called semitones, and it's super easy guys. I promise it's not going to stump you in any way. And pretty much what I mean by this is we are going to be pretty much saying at A sharp minor, which is located here. Now, if I go up a semitone in Ableton, that's going to be one semitone. Two semitones, 1, 2. Three semitones, 1, 2, 3. Four semitones, 1, 2, 3, 4. As you guys can see, it's very easy. Now, if I count all the way to 12, this is A sharp, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A sharp again, and that means 12 semitones is an octave. Now, other cool places to take this vocal to are going to be +7 semitones, which is the 5th of the A sharp, which is going to be the F, and +3, which is going to be the 3rd of the A sharp, which is going to be the I believe that's going to be the C sharp there. So now let's come back to Ableton. Knowing that, we're going to go with the easier one, and we'll talk a little bit about when to use the 7 and the +3 semitone. Now, let's go into the vocal and do +12, and we're going to go to Complex Pro, very important, or else it's going to have stutters. We're going to lower the formants. Now, this is the first piece of advice I give you guys here. With the formant and envelope, you can get really crazy with the sound design because it's going to allow you to literally So if you guys want to get really distinct vocals like that, this is the way to do it. And this is a way that I got taught and I didn't even know existed. And I know a lot of Ableton users out there that don't even know this exists. How? Well, I've helped make some songs with some of my fellow producer friends that have gotten people going, where the hell is that vocal from? How did they get it that way? When in reality, all it was pitching up +12 and just moving back on the formant. Fairly simple stuff, right? And usually it is. It's just that a lot of people, again, these are techniques that you just stumble upon. So I'm going to go to 46. I want a little bit of that raspiness, and there we go. Now I'm going to control here, Control J, which is going to consolidate it into one file. Now we have. So now I can go in and start picking out my favorite parts to do a vocal chop. Now, this is the way I'm going to work, and I'm going to show you guys a couple of shortcuts in case, you know, you think it takes a little bit too long to do. So the first thing I want to do is pick my starting location. So I think this area would be cool here. You always want something that has a note to it that, you know, sounds distinct. It's not, oh, ah, ooh, ah. It has to be, ah. Like, it has to be. As you can see there, makes it a lot easier to work with. Now let's pull this down so we have a bit bigger view of it, and now we can go with more. Okay, so I also like this ending here. So we're gonna go with that and bring it over here. Control B. Okay, so now let's say this is not what I thought it was. Well, I have this here and I like the rhythm of it. What do I do? Well, the cool thing about Ableton is once you have set up a warp marker, you can find it here. You can pull back on this warp marker to actually, you know, go through vocals here. Okay, so I like this here. So let's shorten it down like that and let's go in. So now we have, now we can maybe broaden this in close. And then we can keep moving. So let's say now here we want another one. So now again, we grab the warp marker and now. Okay, I don't like that one. So again, we just keep going with this. When I go to that one, now we pull. And then we can do again doom here. And then again we can move if we want to change it. So I think I'll change it just a little bit in the same area, but so it has a little bit of a change to it, as you can see there. And now we have one more spot to fix here for our rhythm. We'll go here, and then again we're gonna pull. I think the ending will be good to get, so let's go over here to the ending. Let's pull back on this. Again, it's a little bit tough to navigate, but we can make it work. Okay, I like this here. And maybe we can do a little cut. And then again, and let it end. And then repeat. Okay, now this is our vocal chop, and again, there's room for improvement, but we don't want to stay here all day working with it. I want to show you guys the fundamentals of this. So once we have that, what we can do is something, again, very pro that a lot of people wouldn't know to do, which again, it's kind of funny. So we're going to duplicate this once, and now what we're going to do is pick the favorite spots that we want to accentuate. Let's say we want to accentuate this spot here. Then what I can do is literally go and get this, and I'll go up 12 semitones on this. So now it, and let's say you think, let's do +7 so it has more harmonics to it. Remember the +3 and +7 that we talked about? Let's go maybe -7 so it's... Okay, let's try this now. Let's maybe lower the format. And maybe let's go with this one as well. This one is going to be really cool here because I think this one is really going to work well. Complex. So it's not working as well as I thought because what we did is we made it sound very raspy, so it's not working well together. So pretty much the idea of this vocal chop thing that I wanted to show you guys is, let's say that we go back to what we had originally here, and let's say this is our vocal chop, you know, at the end, which is going to be really cool to do something that I wanted to show you guys. So let's say this is it. So what I wanted to do with this is literally go +7, Complex Pro, and then pull down to again add very harmonics to it. So this one is a bit too raspy to work because you can hear it starts to just stack up on itself. But if you want to do that effect and have it sound smoother, again, there's this way to do it.
this.
And you can see it's gonna sound a little bit better. So again, you guys saw me kind of mess up there, but the envelope, again, be easy with it, not too raspy or else you're not gonna have access to that. But other than that, we made up a good vocal chop loop there. Now the other way I want to show you guys is the generic way that I think everyone knows how to do, but we'll talk a little bit about how to manipulate it in extra ways to get the best out of it. So this is just stuff that I've taught on my channel, but it's really hard to find because these videos didn't get that many views. Now what we're going to be doing here is finding a location that has a very stable note like a ah, which we know there are some at the end here, which this area here I think would work. Now what we want to do is use a tuner to see what key it's in. And you can see it's in G, so this works really good. So we're going to drag that here. Control-Shift-T to open up a new MIDI track. And now we're going to go for a sampler. Drop the sampler in, and now we're going to drop this sample in. We can also right-click and then crop the sample, so now we're like this. And now we can use loop mode to reverse into itself. Or forward mode. I prefer the reverse mode. We're gonna pick the root key of G, so we're in key, and now we can. This is a way that everyone knows how to do. Now let me show you a little cool tricks in this so that you guys can make your very own unique vocal chops. The first thing I want to show you guys is the oscillator section, which is a very advanced section. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people don't understand how it works. Now pretty much what we're doing is FM synthesis here to the sample. And the way it works is the more you feed this in, the more it's gonna get FM. Now the attack is going to be the attack for how the synth is, it's going to get FM. So if you have a high attack, it's going to take a while for that FM to kick in. So let's give it a more. You can see the FM kicking in. So it's a really cool way because then you can have the FM just hit to do some cool stuff, or you can do a full volume all the way. Let's have a very sustain all the way up. Now you can also mess with the chorus. And make really cool sounds out of the vocals. Now the next thing we can go is into the pitch envelope, where we can do a negative pitch envelope. And with decay we can control that effect. Which again sounds very Dioro-ish, very Garmiani. Someone requested that in the Evolution of Sound group. Now we can also go straight, which makes it sound punchier. As you can see there. Now we're going to click here to bring that back. So let's do a reverse. Now let's say you want this to glide like you hear in your favorite songs like Jack U and all that. Then we can put in a glide. And you can choose a time for the glides. And again, very easy, right guys? Now here we can go into the Ableton Filter Global, where we can add a shaper. I like the 4-bit one because it does give it a little bit more harmonic. And a white noise, as you can see there, and also hard. And now the other cool things we can do is a bandpass to get a thinner sound. I like to go with the morph here and use it from there so that we have the bandpass, but we don't, again, sacrifice the punchiness of the sound. So let's morph into a bandpass there and a little bit of a, like a high. So let's go there. And there we have it. Very simple stuff. And you can get really cool sounds out of it. I haven't even processed it with reverb, delay, and all that to make it sound dope. But that's the way to vocal chop. Fairly easy, right? You have 2 ways and also a free way on my YouTube called How to Vocal Chop Like a Pro, which uses the slicer in Ableton. But these are the 2 other ways. I personally like this way better, where we work with the waveform, because again, we can harmonize it to a certain extent where it sounds really, really, really dope. Anyways guys, hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure to watch the other tutorials to learn more about vocal processing, vocal manipulation to create effects, and most of all, just take your vocals to a whole other level. You guys have a good one.